of the unknown. What is it? Is it real? And what is it doing there?
Now they're speaking out, saying there are UFOs in U.S. airspace and they need to be taken seriously.
A family in Highland, Michigan believes their house is actually haunted and thinks something is harming their little girl. They're unidentified in U.S. airspace.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
I'm Todd Bates. I've been investigating the paranormal for years, yet still have no definite answers. Join me on this mysterious journey as we discuss all things paranormal, right down to the little gnomes. Why do millions experience these mysterious phenomenon, yet we have no proof? Welcome to Haunted Voices Radio, where I try and gather the pieces that may one day form yet another puzzle.
And a good evening, one and all. Welcome. Haunted Voices live right here on WLTK-DB on this amazing February 10th, 2023. Holy cow, things are going by crazy. Hi, John.
Hello, John.
Yes. Nicole, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, I'm not as tired as what I usually am.
Yeah,
Today was a
right?
good back-to-back show night, and I think I'm getting used to it. You know, it's got to be the gray hair.
You know what? Gray's the new normal now. That's what I say.
We had a big lineup tonight. And if you guys missed the show before this, Twisted Ascensions, you have got to check it out because they had their son on who was a prodigal genius.
Oh, wow.
And he's
I gotta
going to be
catch
11
that.
years old, answered some of the most amazing paranormal questions, has great theories. These are things that we need to listen to because we complicate things, you know?
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true. That is so true.
But one thing I
Think about
wanted
my
to do, and a lot of you older listeners will remember this. Hi, Megan. A lot of you older listeners will remember my old co-host Phil Roll, aka Filibuster. We had a lot of fun together. He loved the show. He loved making funny things for you guys. We did Monday Meltdown. We did the Wednesday Pulse. We did Haunted Voices. It was a lot of fun, and Phil was an asset to it. Hello. It was an asset to the show, and for health reasons, he had to leave. And I just found out here recently that he had passed away, Nicole. And that kind of,
when you told me, I got teary-eyed. That he was just a great guy.
yeah,
Very great guy.
that stabbed me like a knife. So I didn't have much time to do a lot of things today. Hi, Brian. Didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of things today. So I put together the best tribute I could find. Now, back when Phil and I were doing the show, it was all audio. So there's no video. There wasn't any video back then. Video.
Right,
idea.
I know, right? Times have changed. Yeah.
Yeah, times have changed. So I found a few videos. I found some funny moments because Phil would want to be remembered laughing. He doesn't want anybody to feel
totally.
sad. He wants everybody to be happy. And if there's a way for an individual to communicate, Phil will find it. From
I
the
bet he
other
will.
side.
He probably already has that nailed. Oh my gosh.
So I threw something together here real quick, and then we're going to take a moment of silence as well after this for all those suffering from the massive earthquake. It's just unbelievable.
Gosh, I know.
But Phil, my friend, this is for you.
Sorry, do that one more time for us, Phil. Do that one more time for us. Come on, Phil. Charleston for us, Phil. Yeah, come on, Phil.
Every now and then you got to bust a move and kind of cut it loose. You know what I'm saying? I mean, out here, investigations get rough, you get serious, and you got to do a little zoom, wham, wham, time to kind of loosen up. We're not screwing around. It's good.
They're never going to talk to us again.
It's good medicine. Real good medicine.
Oh, that's definitely going to go on a bloopers reel.
Diane, there's a bat in there. Bats.
Oh, I don't want to go in there.
What?
I've seen something fly by.
Maybe you did.
Jesus Christ, you're not that bad.
Just flew right at us.
You just threw that out of my hand.
I didn't throw a can. You
Yeah.
Jeez. God, I swear.
Yeah, that'll bring the tearjerkers on.
Yep.
But rest in peace, Phil. My God.
Yep. Absolutely. He was such a great guy. Gosh.
He was. He was. Now, what I'd like to do, man,
Yep.
I'd like to take a moment of silence for all of those in Turkey. This earthquake, this world in itself seems to be going to hell in a handbasket. We all got to join together. We really got to work as one on this.
Yep.
We are needed. Help in any way you can, whether it be monetarily, whether it be physically. Help. People need help, so help. And we're just going to take a few moments of silence here in remembrance of all those who lost. Now we get to talk about some paranormal.
Yes,
we get to talk about some paranormal. We've got an amazing show planned for you now. We got Jacob Rice, of course, and Mike Morin, aka Merle, is going to be joining us here. We're going to be talking about some of their documentaries, some of their investigations, some of their techniques, some of their experiences. All kinds of fun stuff's going to be coming up here. Nicole, you ready for all this?
Oh, I'm
Thank you,
ready.
Andy.
I've been ready.
This is going to be a blast. So let's welcome, without further ado, Mr. Jacob Rice. Welcome, Mike. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Nice to talk with you tonight.
Excited. Happy to be here.
There's so much you guys have got going on. I mean, you're busy. There's a lot of busy things going on. Busy's a good thing. Well, let's start with you, Jig. You've got some current documentaries out. I want to get these out there. Get the names imprinted in people's minds because I watched a few of these. Excellent work. This isn't something, and not once did I hear, dude, run.
Right, exactly, right.
That's not
Whoa! I see that in some of the outtakes. I'm just saying.
The right way to do it.
Everybody wore shirts that fit properly. I mean, it was just spectacular.
Oh, whoa. Okay, we're getting
It
off
was
to a good start.
spectacular, and it was
This is a
educational.
shade-free episode, right?
It was spectacular. It was welcoming. It was a nice breath of fresh air. So I want to start out with Ghost at the Inn.
Okay.
Jake,
Mhm.
if you could talk about that for a moment and how it felt to film there, investigate there, just be there.
Well, first things first, I would not have been at the inn without Merle, who's to my left, because he's the guy that had the connections, and he actually got to investigate it a year before I went up to film. So he made it happen. To me, I mean, we're just going up the British Columbia coast, gorgeous, right? All the fjords, mountains,
Yeah.
trees, and then we get to this historic former lumber town, and it was one of the first buildings put into the town. It's I think the Old Town Historic Site is the proper name for the area. And that hotel was built around, I think, 1910.
Oh, wow.
And I would say, before we get to filming, I'd like to toss it to Merle, because he's really got the history and inside scoop. I'm just the dweeb that showed up with some cameras and pointed it at people and brought a
Let's
few
go,
gadgets.
Merle.
That's
Let's get into some history.
All right, and it's 1911, Jake. Let's start there.
Okay. Plus or minus 3 years, bro.
1 year off. It's all good.
But so it was initially built as a Government of Canada or British Columbia building. It had a courthouse in it. It had a jail. You can go get divorced there. You can go get married there. You can go to your birth certificate there. Basically, just your genuine government facility. It was before the RCMP were up there, so they had pre-RCMP police there, British Columbia Police, and so anyone that was a bad boy or girl up and down there, they spent the night there. Then they came down to Vancouver, or New Westminster to be technical, where they would stand trial. So it's seen some things, and from government building, it went to hostel. From hostel, it went vacant. From vacant, it went into a beautifully redone hotel to what we have, to what we have today.
Interesting how that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
How something so twisted can turn out to be so beautiful.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like the jail's still intact in the basement. Like the doors are off.
Oh, wow.
The doors are currently off, but they're in there. Like he's gonna put them back on. So the jail's still intact. Where the courtroom was is now like or an inn room, and beside there, where the judge's quarter is another room, and all of these places have unique. Well, this place has a ton of unique hauntings, and that's what we're.
I find that places that have like all kinds of different layers of history and historical periods make for great paranormal activity. It's interesting how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how they're layered out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was
So-
like, what was really interesting about the place was each room had a very well-defined haunted history.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you could be on the main floor hallway. What you get there is different from just right around the corner by a cafe. What happens there versus the stairs versus room number 3 versus room number 6, which was the Gonzo room while we were there. Gonzo ghostly activity.
So these are all just separate hauntings. You can experience differences all throughout.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, though, there's one ghost, the little boy that we talk about, who's got Leo's room. It's room number 1, who seemed to play pranks on us all throughout the inn. So, and there's only like what 10 rooms, 10 or 12 rooms, something like that.
Yeah, I think there's 10. Yeah, something. Yeah.
That's a decent size.
10 rooms. That's a lot to investigate too.
Do you find when you're filming as opposed to actually conducting an investigation or case study that there's a difference in the activity, or do you capture more when doing one versus the other?
So for me personally, with the things that I've shot, I would say I get more activity but I also
Mhm.
think it's because you've got the cameras up everywhere.
Right,
You're running
right.
and gunning. You're not necessarily
Mhm.
sequestered. So
Yeah, exactly.
I would say that's true. And actually for all of the documentaries we've shot, um, it seems like we've had more activity with the cameras on. But the other thing is, and I think this is we got, I'm gonna throw a little shade at ghost hunting in general here. Everyone's so super serious and quiet and they're not friendly.
Oh,
Like when we're filming, we're like glad handing and having fun. And because when you go to the party, hate to say it, no one wants to talk to the wallflower, right?
Right, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll admit, and I'll be the first to say that this field needs a lot more fun.
I agree.
People are so serious that it's tainting the
Mhm.
goodness that is trying to come through. We need to
Yep.
loosen up and have fun. I
A lot
mean,
are being like too busy being experts, whereas just chill, man. Try the experiment. If it works, try the next experiment. If
yes.
not, well,
Yep. Move
Fine.
on,
Yep.
right?
You
Exactly.
can't be wrong no matter
yeah,
what you try. You can
Mhm.
take ketchup and mix it on top of a donut and set it on top of a table and
Ooh.
say, "I think a spirit's gonna eat this." Who's to
You're
say
wrong.
you're wrong?
Someone might. Hey, anyone wanna try it?
Maybe if
Todd? No,
it's
I'm just kidding.
a savory donut, which I don't see the point of a savory donut, but a savory donut could be a good example.
But who's to
Homer Simpson
say?
will try it.
Who's to say you're right or wrong in this field? It's something we
Mhm.
practice it. We're just like a
Yeah.
doctor. Sure, a doctor goes to medical school. They learn about biology. They learn about this, a lot about, but they practice. They practice
Mhm.
medicine. We're practicing the paranormal.
hmm
We're
Mhm.
not. We're not going to go out there and find the answer right. It's just
And the other thing with it is the next time you go there, it's gonna be something completely different.
mhm.
Yeah,
So,
It changes.
exactly.
yeah.
It
And
changes.
I find our approach a little different than a lot of other teams. We're extremely respectful, but we also, not saying other teams aren't, but we also go in armed with history. We're armed with the
Oh.
players that lived there throughout the eras, not just one specific era. We're armed with not just who lived in this building, we're armed with who lived around the building, what type of people, what happened, the dramas, the deaths, everything. We want to go there and have we don't want to be like knocked 3 times and tell us you're here. We want to be like, hey, Aunt Edna, we heard you lived here. There's been encounters
Mhm.
with you because you wear rose perfume. Can you come have a talk with us? So
Mhm.
we
If
try
you
to
don't
be
mind,
really personal.
Merle, share a few tips with some researchers that may have some trouble finding who lived around there, who lived near there. Where are some places they can look? What are some things they can do other than Google?
Ancestry.
Or
Uh,
Wikipedia, right?
well, and ancestry, city hall, city archives, town archives. They're your friends. In Canada, provincial archives or federal archives. Um, yeah, or we have a friend named Melissa who is our encyclopedia of everything.
Very true. And Anthony Germain, all the way
Mhm.
up in Yale, British Columbia. I will throw on one more thing. There's a search engine called PicReal that just searches public domain
Yes.
records.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Pick
I've heard of
real.
that.
I use them. I hawk my photos from them when I make these
Ah,
documentaries. Okay, spoiler alert.
time to write something down. Time to write
I
something
wanna
down.
Oh, he's getting the pen. He's getting the pen or pencil, guys. I wanna make a comment, armed with history. I think that is so important because I've talked to some people that like to go in blind and all of that. I get that perspective, but I think knowing who walked the land before us and knowing the vibe and pretty much the history, historical tapestry, I think that's important. That's just gonna add so much to the overall, filming project or case study or investigation. So,
It
kudos to
goes
that.
hand in hand. In case a
Yep.
name comes up, in case something appears, you have that kind of credibility to back it
Mhm.
up. That's
Yeah.
Absolutely.
awesome.
And like
That's
like
awesome.
before when I used to go to historic places, this is just over the times learning. You'd get permission, and they'd be like, okay, you can be there from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Here's the keys. What would happen if someone came into your house at 11 p.m.? didn't introduce themselves, just started yelling, knock 3 times, bro. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you. Exactly.
So
Oh my gosh.
what I like to do and what we like to do is we like to go to the site early, meet with a caretaker, curator, owner, have them do a tour with us in these places and introduce us. So we
Perfect.
have that relationship where we go in at nighttime or the next day, the ghosts and spirits, if they're there, we'll be like, oh, okay, this guy's cool.
That's an excellent idea. I'm glad you said that.
And it works. I feel
and it's got to be effective because the homeowner eases the spirit by introducing you and so forth. You would just be more inclined to get more evidence, I think, doing that because they would have a bond with you now.
Yeah, and it's like even with residential investigations, a lot of teams will kick the owners of the house out for a few hours, do their thing, and then bring the owners back. But like what we like to do, or I like to do, is half and half, kind of get your baseline reading with no owners. But then when the owners come back, they could be your trigger object because the activity happens with them there.
Absolutely. That's how we do it too.
It can mix both ways.
beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some will say, well, we're going to go ahead and step out. And that's where you kind of have to step in and say, well, I think it may be better if you stay and do everything that you normally do.
Yeah, I like to say, have a seat, ghost bait.
Now, and here's your meat coat.
Yep.
No, but that's excellent information to get used to the homeowner, to have a homeowner get used to you, to have the spirits get used to you. It's just it's a great combo. It's a great way to start an investigation. Now, the interview process, I want to pick your guys' brains because the interview process for a client can be tricky because there's a lot of Friday night entertainment. There's a lot of, hey, I'm glad you came. I forgot to take my meds this morning. There's a lot of different people that you have to deal with. What are some things you guys do before you investigate, let alone film a location? What are some things you do with the client to make sure that everything is okay?
For residentials, I'm a trained investigator by day job, so I can read a person like a book. It's what I do. And there's key questions, and before we ask questions, I'll be straight up. I'm like, I'm gonna ask you some personal things here. Either you got to be okay with that because it's for our safety as well. We'll ask occult use, drug use, medication, mental health. Go a little light on, like we'll ask all that stuff. We'll ask what their intent is with the investigation. If it's not a serious haunting, if it's just like, oh man, I hear footsteps down my hallways and disembodied voices. What I like to do is tell people, okay, we'll come in 2 weeks. Every day I want you to log your activity. And then we'll talk about it before we come. Because then that weeds out the people that want it just for fun because they saw a really cool episode of Ghost Hunters.
Thank you. Exactly. Yep.
And it just has a consistency because I have a horror story about that. We went on this call, sorry, that's work talk. We went to this investigation and we showed up and it was a different case manager at the time. And the house was full of about 14 people. And we're like,
wow.
We were entertainment that night. I was so upset inside, but I was smiling, obviously. And then we basically said there's too many people here. And we showed off gear, did a little bit of a Q&A, and called it a night.
Good for you. Good for you.
I would have showed up and saw that many people and said, oh, I forgot the demon in the car.
My safe word is, let me get my batteries. I forgot my batteries.
Let me get my batteries.
3 hours later, where are they? Oh my
because that's just dangerous. That's free Friday night entertainment kind of thing. Yep. They want to see how it's done. And this is some serious mental stress that it can put onto a homeowner to the point where they're at their wits' end. They're calling a paranormal investigation team. They have nowhere else to go. So yeah, you've got to treat them with the utmost respect, and they've got to treat you with the utmost respect.
I agree.
You're not some slave going in there that's some Ghostbuster and you can rid it out of my house. It's not that simple. It takes hours. It takes time. It takes trust. Yeah, that's how a lot of it goes. Let's talk about another one. Hotel Road May.
Ooh.
Yes, the Hotel Rodmay. That Merle lined that one up too, but that is in the same town where Ghost at the Inn was shot in Powell River, British Columbia. Yeah, let me tell you, that chicken in the restaurant there was amazing. I don't know where. I know they had to move, but if you ever go to Powell River, get your chicken from that chicken place. I'm telling you,
have to.
that stuff's good. But
good chicken's a good thing.
That's another historic building in Powell River.
What kind of things did you come across, if any?
Well, from a ghostly standpoint, it was a very tough place to investigate. And a lot of the activity was in the kitchen. Yeah. When you go in the kitchen at night, oozing EMF because of all the appliances, but it was so loud. You almost had to yell at each other. Wow. So from a filming perspective, I went for motion gadgets because that's about the only thing. You're not going to pick up an EVP in that joint. Okay.
Yeah. It's that loud. Wow.
Yeah. So, but we put out the the motion detection gadgets. And then in the kitchen, we did a Q&A, and Boo Buddy came out to say hi. The Boo Buddy was there.
Oh, the good old Boo Buddy.
Because, there's a little girl spirit that likes to run around, apparently, and she's German. And Sandra, who's Merle's girlfriend, was there, and she speaks fluent German. Oh. So we had a little Q&A EVP. We had a Polter tune out, and let's just say things were rocking and rolling in the kitchen.
Yeah. Did you ask questions in German or in English? And if they did, they respond in the same language?
Sandra, the other half,
native language.
Yeah, Sandra, she's the other half of our team, and she's from Germany. So,
okay.
She did a full session in German. And
wow, that's amazing.
I don't really know Jake and I don't know what she was asking, but she was asking questions you'd ask a little girl. But the really neat part was the Polter tune was going off every time she'd ask it.
It was in cadence.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. I love when you can have that.
That's incredible. But I've only captured one German EVP, and it says "Achtung," which is German for attention, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yep. Achtung.
That's all I got out of the thing. So maybe they're just kind of tight-lipped.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't talk much.
So I know they're stoic, right? I could say, because I live in Puget Sound area, and at Spooked in Seattle, when it was at its original location, we did some we would use different languages in the underground because you had the Norwegians and the Japanese, and, the regular English-speaking folks. And we usually got really good responses if you tried Japanese or Norwegian.
Really?
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So, that would be the common immigrant population at the time too. You had a whole lot of everyone coming, but that was pretty interesting to see the blips go off on the gadgets for movement. And I can't say I got a direct EVP, but we got the blips on all the ocean detection stuff because, when I film, it's got to be visual, right? That's what. Yeah. So I bring a lot of the motion stuff, things that beep, light up.
That is super cool, and the way you guys put it together is phenomenal. Thank you for that. Thank you for not.
Yeah, they're very, very well made. My goodness.
Adding any cheese.
Cheese, yeah.
It is cheeseless. It is gluttonless.
I could tell you about some of the shade we've gotten.
We've got shade.
From the YouTuber.
Seriously? Oh my gosh.
So I will never add background music again to another investigation.
What? Oh no.
They're like, what is that twangy banjo? Why did you have to put that boom right after that EVP came through that spirit box? Why did you do that? And I'm
Because
like,
I was trying
I got
something.
it. I got it. And like, I came from the video school of Ghost Adventures. And this is what you do. Boom. Dude, it said blah.
See, that's what they expect.
Yes.
Oh, I
I'm
lost
just
a
like
wife.
all
Oh
these
my
damn
God.
millennials and Gen Zers. I'm not throwing shade at you people. I know, you grew up. This is what you grew up on.
But
I'm a
see,
millennial.
But
that's where
no,
this is where education is needed.
I'm more of a kindred spirits, kind of a ghost hunters, Jason Hawes, the grown-up ghost hunter.
Yep.
Yep.
Ish.
Before we started making these documentaries, Jake and I talked actually for a long time before doing it. In all fairness, Ghost Adventures, the way they film, like on a cinematic way, they knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
Content,
Yeah.
But that's we both like how it's filmed, but you need more history and you need more connection with the properties.
Absolutely.
That was a really big. That's a big deal for me as much as him and Sam.
Yeah. I mean, they have really great haunt porn, I call it. Like, they get access to the best locations. Like, I'll watch it just for that haunt porn.
Porn.
People got tennis shoe porn. I got
actually
haunt
never heard
porn.
that
Oh,
before.
there you go. We call it haunt porn all the time.
I'm gonna remember that.
Well, yeah, because you're known for the Queen Mary. That is some good haunt porn. That's real good haunt porn right there.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll turn off the volume because I just want to see the place, So
Yeah.
I always like to treat the locations as if they were part of the team.
See, I love that. I love that approach, that respect, and all of that.
I
That's
do.
amazing.
We're
That's
going to
truly
skip off
amazing.
to a short break here. When we come back, we're going to talk more about some documentaries and something they have coming up soon as well. It's going to be released soon. We're going to pick their brains a little bit more. More with Jacob and Mike when we come back. You're listening to Haunted Voices right here on WLTK-DB.com. We'll be right back. The Body Code is a revolutionary method of energetic healing developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which allows us to quickly and easily identify specific imbalances that seem to underline chronic ill health, acute and chronic pain, and discomfort, dysfunction, and stress. Ellie energetically connects with the subconscious of the client. Psychic medium Ellie Weisensell is a medical intuitive and energy healer, and a certified body code practitioner. She identifies and clears energetic imbalances within the body and energy field. Contact Ellie at the website below, and Ellie can work remotely from a distance, by phone, online, video chat. There's no need to travel to an office. Remember, the body code is safe for humans and animals. Contact Ellie today. Bottom of the hour, you guys are tuned into Haunted Voices Live right here on WLTK-DB. If you missed the first part of the show, we've got you covered. Everything's being archived. It'll be up tomorrow morning. You can find it on Apple and Google and YouTube and Facebook and all the other fun places. Just search Haunted Voices Radio. It'll pop right up there for you. We've got some upcoming guests coming up next week. We've got paranormal investigator host Eric Freeman. We're going to be talking about all things paranormal. And on the 24th of February, author medium Vanessa Hogel is going to be joining us. She is a hoot. Holy cow, she's freaking hilarious. It's going to be a great show.
I love it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Things are we're booked up until June. Nicole,
that's fantastic.
I worship I worship you as a mentor when it comes
Oh my
to
gosh.
producing, because
It's, it
I've
takes
gotten into
time.
heated arguments.
Really? Oh boy.
Yeah.
What's that to you?
It's a lot of fun.
That's a oh my
It's
gosh. I'll have to
like,
talk more about that.
but yes, I did. Here's the proof. But no, you didn't. Here's my proof. Well, my
Oh my
proof's better
God.
than your
Yeah.
proof. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but we're getting them in there. We got a lot of great stuff going on tonight. We're talking with Mike and Jacob of Ghostly Activities, and we're talking about the documentaries, what goes into them, investigation wise, film wise, and we were just getting ready to touch on the Sunset Theater. Now, the Sunset Theater at first glance seems like a docile place. It seems quaint, welcoming. My God, what happened?
So first things first, that's up in, is it Wells? It's Wells, BC.
Wells,
right?
British
Wells,
Columbia.
BC. So you're up in gold mining territory. We went actually to investigate Barkerville. And let's just say it was a very cold evening and the ghosts decided to stay in bed in the old town. But in the theater, plug, they have an amazing coffee bar in the theater. So, they know how to throw down with a cup of Joe, let me tell you.
Coffee bar.
But the whole basis is with the stage and plays. Let's just say a lot of performers leave something behind. They give it their heart and soul and perform. So with this piano, 110-year-old piano, there might have been something still playing that piano.
No.
That's awesome.
There may have been,
wow. Yes. Speaking of the Queen Mary, there's a piano there on board that is known to have a few experiences. So, oh, wow. So fascinating.
But that's the thing. Is it the piano that is haunted? Or is it the pianist that's haunted and playing the piano?
That's a good point.
Wow. Because, I mean, I'll admit, we have a piano, and there are times it goes off on its own. I don't know if it's air pressure. I don't know if something fell on it. But when you're sitting in here and you hear a boom, I just don't go out there for a while.
It's just a goblin. It's fine. It's just a goblin running underneath the room.
It's a goblin. It's one of those damn gnomes.
Yep.
Gotta love the gnomes. We have a piano too. Mine's quiet. Quiet. I haven't heard that thing since I played it when I was 8. So
you haven't heard it at all. You haven't had any slight notes.
Nothing.
Okay. It'll
happen tonight.
You need to get a haunted doll, Nicole.
Oh my God.
Merle can hook you up.
All on the piano.
There you go.
Merle can hook you up. He's like collecting those haunted dolls.
She'll start playing Mozart. There we go.
I'm terrified of those things. Those things shouldn't even be created. They're horrifying. No, but guys, back to filmmaking and what goes into it. Most people, like me, they'll flip on a television or they'll watch a stream and they just see entertainment. They just see this. They just see that. Everything's flowing. Everything's going in just great. What all goes into filmmaking? I mean, there has to be a bejesus load of amount of audio, video, camera work, B-roll footage. What goes into all these documentaries you guys make? Because they look great.
Sequencing. Jake writing down on his notepad with his pencil, and he says if it's not in the sequence, it doesn't make the cut.
Oh, so you're kind of going along as you do it.
Well, so how it works. Yeah, so I mean, just like any production, some things are planned. And that's like the intros, but it's not like you're not saying say these things or do these things.
No.
You're just it's just like with Ghosts at the Lodge, which is the one that documentary that came out the end of January. It was get me some glorious B-roll of the outside of the building so I can make a title sequence. As it says, this person stars, it's filmed here, and this is the name of the documentary. Give me some glorious footage. You got a drone. I'll work with what you got. Next sequence could be, let's start with the interviews. Talk to the owner. I don't know what you're going to talk about. And so it's really hit these things to make the movie. Doesn't have to be in this order necessarily. I do prefer all the interviews and history to come before the actual investigations, though. But
That makes sense.
sometimes there's some constraints. Maybe the owner's not home and can't do the interview, so sometimes you have to plug it in at the end. But when it comes to the ghost hunts, it's just I look at Merle and say, which ghost, like, where are you trying to solve for, man? And then he tells me, and then we go to the big tub of gadgets. And we're like, okay, we'll help get signs of that haunting. And if it's not like Leo at Ghosts at the End, we had the Boo Buddy and we had the little motion detector out because he allegedly runs down the hallway. So I'm like, okay, well, let's put the teddy bear there and let's put the little motion detector here and point a camera and we'll go in the cafe and do an EVP session. So you might stitch it together in a certain order. I wouldn't necessarily things are planned other than
multitasking.
Yeah, it's just like we're going to do this, this, and this. I would like it in this order simply because I have to edit it, which takes forever.
You're eliminating variables.
And just, what happens. If nothing happens, it doesn't go in.
Because we're really big on the history of the place. So it's not about the ghost hunt. It's about the experience and celebrating the location.
See, I love that. I absolutely love that.
And like the way we investigate, we adjust our investigation style based on the locations, history, and what has happened. And we try not to be consistent all the time. So we like to have a list of things we'd like to do just to be efficient instead of being like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. What do you want to do? I don't know. It's more, and it's been good.
That's smart.
I mean,
that's
you have
smart.
You do like a shot list though, because you heard these B-rolls. Like when someone's interviewing, they'll show like the creepy hallway and then come over. It's you do have to plan for those things because you have to make a visually interesting piece out of it. But whatever happens. And I would say the documentaries, and I hope you can tell, they're like little love letters to the location.
Yes. That's a good way of putting it. I love how
Very
you
nice
just really
setting.
respect that location. That's what it's all about. So
It is because the location is key. The history is key. Without one, you don't have the other. So you really have to respect those two. And you guys put a lot of work into these things. Why aren't these things on Roku, Amazon Prime, all these places like that? This is good information for people that can actually watch something without vomiting.
Well, I was gonna say I just put them up on YouTube. We put them because we want everyone to see them. I mean, the barriers to entry of watching on YouTube way lower than having to get like a Roku subscription or set. Just go to YouTube. You can watch it anywhere you want, whenever you want.
I see what you mean. It's a little more versatile. You can share it around. You're not tied into one particular
exclusivity
location.
or whatever.
Yeah. And what I like is you get the feedback because believe me, the YouTubers will comment. They will let you know.
Oh, yes, they do.
YouTube comments are brutal.
They've gotten better.
I was just going to say. Well, just in general, though, my gosh, some people can just be nuts on there.
Oh,
yeah. I've
been called curly, Mr. Clean. It's terrible.
Yeah, I will say the worst comments, and I don't mean this to be in derogatory, but I have had religious conservatives come after me.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
And I'm just like, okay, delete.
But there you go. Exactly.
Yeah. But it's not always. Yeah. So a lot of people love to try. I will say the community for our documentaries has been 97% is very, very positive. and
that's
very,
amazing.
very
I
lovely.
think
Or it's good feedback. It's good constructive.
if you're
feedback.
getting those hating comments, guys, it's jealousy. That's all it is. It's pure, flat out jealousy. And you just take that with a grain of salt, throw it over your shoulder, and move on because you do excellent work.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent work. And I don't watch much TV, and it kept me interested. It was good quality work. Like I said, there wasn't any cheese in it. You didn't have some kind of cheesy apparitions sliding across.
Oh, I would though. That would be fun. It would be like it would be an interstitial. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be like the actual. And a ghost at the end. I did do the guy when we talked about the ghost at the end of the hall by the stairs smoking cherry pipe.
But that wasn't bad.
I did put an
subtle.
apparition dude in. Yeah,
But that wasn't bad.
It wasn't. No.
Yeah.
No, but still.
That was
I don't know
good.
why I just imagined a slip and slide, but I did. Don't ask me why.
Slip and slide.
Came right in my head there, you know. Oh my gosh.
Oh, now let's get to the good stuff. You guys have something coming soon. Ghost at the Lighthouse. Let's talk about this before we close the show.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear about this. Any kind of sneak peeks you can give us? Any kind of exclusive whatever you can give us about it? I want to know about it.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about. We did try an entirely new technique. So when it came to Ghosts at the Lighthouse, we specifically wanted to do a modern take on some of the stuff from the spiritualist movement.
Ooh.
And so there were some modern gadgets. Don't get me wrong. There was a couple of things, and the first test. I would say there's two tests that we did. We did like a Ouija board, because that's what you would have done. What is really interesting, and this is light spoiler, even like when you're doing the spiritualist stuff, it's always good to have some modern gadgets around, just because not everything's going to talk to you the same way. Like with the Ouija board, we got EVPs. I wouldn't say the Ouija board session itself was super amazing. It was shot well, I will say. Love the lighting in that. But one of the things we did, and shout out to Rachel Breivik, we did a telegraphy test. So Morse code, because of all the
that's
shipwreck.
fascinating. Yes. Okay.
And there was a big telegraph tower right next to between the residence and lighthouse. And I know Morse code. When I was in the Army, I had to learn Morse code. So I keyed Morse code, and we got some phantom Morse code back, and we also got EVPs.
So cool.
I'm just like, remember, not everyone can tap, right? But they can still talk.
Now, did the responses from the Morse code and the
What
EVP?
an ingenious idea.
That is, I know, right? Oh, were they the same responses? So did the EVP match the actual Morse code, or were they different responses?
I would say, well, we had a DVP. We had a direct voice.
Okay.
From part of it. So I don't, I need you to watch, so I won't spoil it. I will say there is one recurring theme with all the spirits we contacted at the lighthouse, and it always had a lot to do with going, waiting, coming. There was a lot of that type of response. Probably the most interesting test was the modern seance. And because, with a seance, you hold the hands, kumbaya, light the candles, right? But we put out ITC devices. Merle was doing the Estes method while we're doing this, because we didn't have a medium. So the gadgets are out to take the place of a medium. And so we had EMF meters that were chirping in Morse code. We had EVPs, and crazy stuff happened. Yeah. So that's, and it's just a stunning place.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Lighthouses though. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't give away too much there, Merle.
Tell them about our technique.
Oh, we call it the North Head technique. So this is the modern take on the seance. So we had 4 people. So Merle was doing the Estes method. And then we had 3 other investigators, Amy Beal, hi, Melissa Becker, I think she's listening. Rachel, I don't know if she's listening or not. But you sent the attention, you hold the hands, set the positive, I don't know, attunement, I guess. And Merle is doing the Estes method. Questions are being asked, but I had like the paranormal tripwire out. We did put an Ovilus, not my favorite gadget, people, but we put it out because I needed something to speak. To take the place. And I will say the Ovilus actually, over the 50 minutes we were doing this, spit out 8 responses that matched the line of questioning. It didn't just keep blah, 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 blah like it normally does. 8 responses.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we had the Paralight, and the Paralight Plus, which is kind of like a lantern you pull up with rainbow colors on it. It was chirping in Morse code.
Whoa. Oh, see, that's phenomenal. That's so cool. Phenomenal.
So we call it the North Head technique. I would just say overall, it's a modern take on the science. You use ITC devices and electromagnetic, EMF detection to take the place of the medium. And we did record EV. We were recording for EVB too, but the mics that I have, the cameras I use, these are broadcast quality, so the mics are a lot better than your standard handheld recorder. So, and it was something to behold, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Do you use so are they binaural pretty much, the mics that you use?
No, I mean, it is, you've seen them, like when you see on the spot news reporting and they've got those long shotgun, that's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, those are
it wasn't binaural. We did have H4Ns.
Oh yeah, okay.
Those aren't binaural.
This is spectacular. We've got to get you 2 back on.
Yeah, scratch the surface with this one. My goodness.
Because we barely scratched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Ghosts at the Lighthouse will come out probably 2 weeks. I'm about 70% done with it right now.
Okay, about 2 weeks.
Fantastic.
How do folks get in touch with you guys?
I flap my gums the most, Merle.
Oh, for me, it's Instagram and YouTube, The Paranormal Road Trippers.
And then if you want to get a hold of me, just go to my website, ghostsandmonsters.com. I love cryptids too.
Another discussion.
And you can, I know everything about Ogopogo. It's one of my favorite monsters. You can get a hold of me through the contact us form on ghostsandmonsters.com.
Perfect. Ghostsandmonsters.com.
Wow,
and we're going to be in Spokane filming at the end of this month for another episode.
Nice.
Yeah, that one will probably come out at the end of March.
Oh, keep us posted.
Yes, please do. My goodness.
Keep us posted. We'll have you back before then, around then, to get up to speed on everything. You guys are phenomenal, exceptional filmmakers, great people. You tell it like it is. You do it like it is. You're doing the right thing. Continue doing it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I second that.
Making a big difference. Thank you both so much for taking time to come on tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Good night, guys.
And there they were. Holy cow.
I know, right?
That's a lot of good info. There is so much that goes into not only the investigation, but the filming aspect.
The filming, I know. The time.
Two totally separate animals.
Totally.
I learned a ton tonight. That was incredible.
Exactly. And just that they're doing it right. We need more information like that put out, people. That's what we need. So, I commend them.
Yeah. We'll definitely have them back. Thank you, Meg.
Yep. Awesome.
Definitely have them back again here real soon. There's so much going on.
Oops.
We've got the end of the week here.
Time is
tomorrow.
Flying.
If you guys are interested, you could still squeeze in to the divination and cleansing class. That's going to be going from 10 to 4 tomorrow. You guys can still get in on that. If you're interested, just contact me through the station. We'll get you connected and get you in there. A lot of good stuff. Thank you very much. A lot of fun with these guys. My goodness. And
I know. This was a fantastic night.
Next week, we've got Eric Freeman. We're going to be coming on talking about all things paranormal. And then, of course, Vanessa Hogle is going to be bringing up the end of the month. We're going to be doing some psychic readings and all kinds of fun stuff, Nicole.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But until then, you folks have an amazing weekend. Have a fantastic week. Don't worry about all the muck that's going on out in the world. This too shall pass.
I love that
hang in
phrase.
there. Don't start hoarding eggs and toilet paper again.
Oh no,
Everything's gonna
we're
be
past
just
that.
fine.
We're past that problem.
Everything's going to be okay. It's
Oh my
happening
gosh.
as it should. So just be careful. Be sure to tune in to all the shows over there at WLTK-DB.com. Check out the schedule. Be sure and check out the events list on both the YouTube and the Facebook pages. Just click on events and you'll see everything coming up for the week. But definitely want to wish everybody a happy weekend and a safe night, especially you, Nicole. You take care.
You
Have fun there in
too.
California in the warm weather while I'm freezing
Warm.
my tail off here.
Right. Santa Ana winds here, warm weather, allergies, but we're surviving.
Yeah, it works just fine.
Yeah.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody. Have a great night. Take care. Thank you very much.
Good night, guys.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.